Warning: the following podcast contains irreverent humor, exceptionally nerdy opinions, potential cursing, and plenty of love for the prequels. If any of the preceding offends you, please turn off this podcast immediately, and may the Force be with you.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
You're tuned in to the Nerf Herder Council, an official supporter of Star Wars Celebration Orlando, happening this April 13th through the 16th at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida, featuring your hosts, JT. I mean, they killed his mother. What's he supposed to do? Send him a postcard? I wish you wouldn't have done that. AJ.
I'm on Facebook, man. Hey, Mom, check me out.
Steve.
Sir, you have a parasol on your face. Please do not tell me what I should and should not like, sir. Thank you.
It really was.
On this episode of the Nerf Herder Council, after months of anticipation, Star Wars Celebration Orlando is finally here. With so much to see and do, we run down our list of absolute can't-miss panels for this year's event.
This is the Nerf Herder Council.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I'm your host, JT. With me is AJ, and unfortunately we are Steve-less tonight, thanks to his sudden lack of 4 wisdom teeth, which happened yesterday. So he's a little doped up on Percocet right now and talking a little mush mouth. So
it's really too bad. I think he'd be a great addition to the show in that state.
Yeah, right. Well, at least if he's going to miss a show, it's about something he hasn't experienced yet. So
true. So it's not like 90 minutes of us going, "This thing is so awesome." Yeah. You don't get to go.
Remember that thing you've never been to? Tell us your celebration story, Steve. Okay, that was Steve's celebration story. But
we'll have Steve insert crickets in post for that.
Right. So
to self-insert crickets.
Marker at 2 minutes and 50. But yeah, as we teased on the last show, AJ and I are going to talk about Celebration tonight. I actually am going to figure out what panels I'm going to live on the show here, because I have not looked at the schedule, because the way it's laid out on their website is kind of a pain in the ass. So I figure if I have to look at this stuff for a while, I might as well use it for show fodder. So
yeah, I have looked at the show schedule, and I still don't have any idea what I'm going to.
Yeah, I know of 3 that are can't miss for me, but because I haven't looked at the full schedule, I don't know if there's more can't miss ones for me. But
it's the origami one, isn't it?
No.
Story time for younglings?
No. Not really, no.
Women in Star Wars?
No. You know, it's funny when you say origami, the very first thing that popped in my head, you can tell that I've been doing my acoustic stuff way too much lately, because you said Star Wars origami, and my head went, "Or am I origami? Fold it up and just pretend." I'm like, oh, God.
Okay, back on Star Wars, dude. Come on. You're 2 days away from your Well-Strung Heroes debut. Let's keep it on Star Wars tonight.
Technically not debut, but whatever. Anyways.
That was the sound of a shrug.
Yeah, right? So anyways, we are going to talk about Celebration tonight. It is Wednesday night, and in 5 days, AJ and I and my wife Stephanie and my stepson Dominic will be hitting the road to drive down to Milford, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati, to pick up our buddy Spikes and his girlfriend Celeste. And then the 6 of us will be jumping into a 12-passenger Ford Econoline van.
Oh, we got the tour van, huh?
Yeah, Spike's ponied up, and I don't even want to know what the heck he's spending, but he just decided he's going to do that. So
hey, that's fine, man. 6 people in a 12-passenger van might be somewhat comfortable.
It's two captain's chairs, and then
wait a minute. There's room for my ARC Trooper armor, then, isn't there?
Potentially.
Well, hell, let's do it.
But the question is there room in the room?
Okay, yeah. We might actually be sleeping in the van because it's more spacious.
Yeah, right? I mean, we're already sleeping 6 in a room that holds 4 people, so you're sleeping on the floor, Dominic's sleeping on the floor, and then the 2 couples have a bed.
Well, I was going to say, the couples are, they're allowed to get as close as they need to anyway for space purposes, so that's fine.
See, I was already planning on sleeping on the floor. I bought an air mattress that's less narrow than a
Which is great.
twin.
But if you're on the floor, then am I cozying up next to your wife?
Well, I thought Dominic would sleep in the bed. I was trying to be nice to my stepson and give him a bed instead of putting him on the floor. But he refused. He refused to sleep in the same bed as his mom, so he didn't want to do a whole,
The booger's going to Orlando without paying for it.
Exactly. He can't complain very much.
Exactly.
Especially because they picked the restaurant they want to eat at Daytona Beach and sent me the menu, and the first thing that pops up is all-you-can-eat crab legs, and I was like, you.
What day is that?
They're going to Daytona on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So
That's right, because they got switched over to 4-day passes, didn't they?
No, they have Thursday and Friday, single-day passes.
Oh, okay.
So they have to find stuff to do second half of Tuesday, which I think that's going to be a kind of a rest day for us, considering we'll be driving all night.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday they're talking about Daytona, and Thursday and Friday's the convention, and then they'll have Saturday, Sunday to figure out stuff to do. But there's like the aquarium and some other things that they feel like doing, so they'll have it.
It's hard to find a lack of things to do in Florida.
Yeah. My friends at work are like, well, what are you going to do besides the Star Wars convention? I was like, oh, you rookies.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely nothing is the answer.
Right.
One of them actually said, well, you can't just do Star Wars 24/7 for like 10 days. I said, oh, you have little faith.
I had a friend ask me why I haven't gone tanning. It's like, you're going to go down there that pale? I'm like, I'm never going to see the sun anyway.
Yeah, right.
We go from our hotel across the Skywalker. Sorry, everything's a Skywalker now. We were actually going to get a buddy on tonight over Skype, which is now a Skype walker. So yeah, the Skywalk over to the convention center. We're never going to be outdoors.
Yep.
If we can help it. I mean, if we are, it's going to be like, the sun, it burns the skin.
Like a witch or something.
Yeah.
Like a vampire. But, yeah, so they're going to do that stuff.
Be like Gollum stepping out of the Goblin Cave.
Exactly. It's exactly what it's going to be like. But, yeah, so, obviously we're going to rest up on Tuesday once we get in because we will have been driving the van for, 20 hours or whatever it is. And then Wednesday is the first day, and it's kind of a hangout day. But for me, I will be getting in line on Wednesday night. So we can start there if you want.
Why?
Well, why don't we go through the panel schedule and see exactly what we're going to do? And
Let's do that.
Let's not take too much time because we don't want to bore everybody too much, but this will give you a good rundown of what they present at Star Wars Celebration, which is really interesting because there's so many things to do. You can't keep track of it all.
Oh, quick shout out, by the way. Anyone who is actually going to attend, find us, okay? We got Twitter and plenty of social media channels. Hit us up. We will totally have a beer with you.
Yeah, just hit us up at NHC Podcast for the show or our personal pages. Mine is at Dog Pound Jedi. It's DAWG Pound Jedi. And AJ's is at
Drake Adams 579.
See, I can't say it for you. It's not how the show works.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. And that's a wrap. But seriously, tweet at us and we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely hook up.
And we'll be bringing our shirts with us because I know what it is most of you just don't have the control of the internet to reach out to us to buy one. So we will have them in hand so you can see the majesty of the shirts in person and then fork over $20 to us.
You'll see my fat ass wearing it invariably.
But we will actually we got stickers too, so we're all proud of our new swag. Come get some.
Yeah, come hang out. All right, so let's start on Thursday here, and we'll just go quickly. Just give me a yay or nay. We'll do that until we get to stuff we actually want to talk about. This goes in alphabetical order by day.
You can arrange it by time.
What? Really?
That makes way more sense.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, hold on. There it is. Let's see. Oh, start date. No.
Yeah, we'll get into some specific stuff in a second, but you know what really cheeses me off about this entire thing and always does? They have panels that start on the half hour and panels that start on the hour. So a lot of times there's an overlap of something that you want to see. And even if it wasn't for like the queues forming hours ahead of time to get to these things, you might have something ending at noon and the other thing you wanted to see starts at like 11:30 or 12:30, which is still not enough time to get there. Like, I wish they would just keep it on a regular cadence. So you're like, okay, I did that one. I have time for 4 panels a day. But no, instead you got to check and see how long does it run, where is it, and does it start at the same time or is it staggered? I don't know. We're not fans of Reed Pop.
Yeah, this one, I love Celebration, but this one definitely, organization-wise, has been a letdown compared to the others. The app is still not working, and we're basically a week away from the first day of the convention. And the app is really helpful for this kind of thing because you can favorite the panels that you want to go to, and it gives you push notifications the day of. It'll say, like 2 hours before, you'll get this, your phone will go off, and it'll say, you have the, Battlefront 2 panel in 2 hours in this and such location. And you're like, oh, cool. But they don't have that. So that's one of the reasons, because I actually use that a lot. But also just the layout of the website. They don't, they had like a grid previously that was printable of all of the panels and the times in the blocks. So you just print it out and like highlight it and just put a piece of paper in your pocket if you want to be old school. And they don't have that. So it's like, well, what the hell?
Well, this is sure to be the largest celebration so far in terms of attendance. We don't know what the show floor is going to look like yet, so maybe there's more presenters, maybe there's not. I really hope there are, because if it's like a little side note, I went to Beer Fest this year at the Cleveland Convention Center, and I went to it last year, and the popularity grew so much that it became completely impassable once general admission opened up this year. It wasn't even worth going. And I hope Celebration's not going to be the same way, where it's the same number of booths and panels to go to, and they're all choked because there's twice as many people.
I hate to say this, but I think that's gonna kind of be a problem, just because they don't have a cap on ticket sales that I know of. And we heard that they had sold over 150,000 tickets between single-day passes and 4-day passes for Celebration Anaheim 2 years ago.
Oh, God, that's right.
And you remember what Saturday was like.
Oh, the weekend was just insane.
Oh, my God. In fact, we're going to give you guys some advice as we go for anybody that's interested in Celebration. Our first piece of advice is, if you're going to go for a day, do not make it one of the weekend days. Sunday, first of all, because it's shorter than the other ones. Mm-hmm. But the main reason is Saturday is an absolute zoo, because
that's family day.
Yeah, it's family day, because people that can't do the weekdays, they come out, and the locals come out, and it's by far the busiest day, and you can't see nearly enough. Thursday's a good day because, I would recommend a Thursday, Friday. To me, if you're only going to do a couple days, Thursday and Friday is probably the best, because they're not as busy as the weekend. And when you see it Thursday, you're going to be like, oh my God, I want to kind of do some more of this. Mm-hmm. So
also, the main panel is usually the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
So the show floor itself, at least for those opening few hours, is completely vacant because everyone wants to be at the panel.
Yeah.
So if you want to really get around the show floor and see everything before the crowds really rush in there, that's the day to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, you're also there for the big news reveals too.
Yeah.
You get there by Saturday, everything's been, tweeted out, published online, streamed. Thank you, Verizon Wireless. There's so much coverage now that if you go there by Saturday, all the surprises are gone.
Yeah. Are you a fan of them streaming everything online? I'm not.
I wish they would throttle it a little bit more. I like some because, it's just not feasible. We've got friends that haven't been able to go to past celebrations. We're so stoked, that Thrashers are going to be there this time.
It's true.
Because, they just had life going on. Chris and Andrea were pregnant, and then, just affordability that given year, whatever it may be. So it's cool that they don't exclude people entirely. But at the same time, if you do make the effort to go, there should be plenty more stuff that's like just your story because you made the effort to get there. Well,
the fact that they put the entire panels online, it's like, I would say I'd be okay with it if they were going to do like highlights, like have the live Star Wars show and, they talk about it and then show like video packages and stuff. But showing the thing, like I'm going to, and I know this is my own personal decision, so I can't really complain about this, but I'm going to be in line as of 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday for the 10 o'clock panel on Thursday. And there's going to be people just rolling out of the rack at 9:45 and turn on their computer and see the same thing I am. So, so I can't complain because it's my own stupid ass fault for doing that.
Well, it's kind of a bit of hypocrisy, too. You remember how we experienced the Force Awakens panel?
Oh, yeah.
Because we did not do a good job the night before.
Yeah. Oh, no, we did a damn good job the night before, but not of preparing ourselves for the first day of the convention.
Right.
We did a damn good job of lubing up our livers is what we did.
We prepared ourselves for a 12-step program.
Yeah, we did.
So, 11 a.m., and we're bitching about the buffering of the Wi-Fi in the hotel. We're like, if we were a little bit more responsible, we'd be there right now.
It was our plan to go wait in line, and then we decided to, like a day or two before, screw it.
It was the damn liquor store around the corner selling the handle for $20.
I forgot about that.
Was that Paramount vodka, I think?
No, it was Smirnoff.
Oh, it was Smirnoff?
Yeah.
We were drinking. Wow.
Because it had. I know it was Smirnoff because I know that I'm the only one that's guttural enough to drink the cheap. Just go, well, I don't care. All I care about it. If I'm drinking, I'm just there to hang out, have a good time. So I'm just mixing it anyway. It's not like I'm drinking it straight. So if it tastes like crap, I'm not going to know anyway. It's going to taste mostly like pop to me anyhow.
Yeah, and it's a $40 handle, and I know that Tito's, for example, is pretty nice, and that's about $36. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we made a couple trips for that.
Yeah, we did. So, that was the most ironic refrigerator ever. It was so healthy. We had white bread and lettuce and turkey. So we were eating these healthy sandwiches and whatnot, and just tons of water, and then a crap ton of booze. Like, there went the health value.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah. Well, we weren't hungover. At least there's that, So,
well, hey, most of our great celebration stories start with a bottle and then friends we just met. So
yeah, it sounds like we're a couple of alcoholics doing this, but it's like when you're, the main hotels have hotel bars, so most of the guests are at like the Rosen or the Hilton, stuff like that, and they're nice ritzy, hotels with big fancy bars, and so people hang out there and. That's where the socialization happens.
Mm-hmm. And plus, there's parties every night.
Yeah.
Not like blow the doors off at parties, but every major organization hosts something.
Yeah.
There's either a podcast meetup, there's the 501st does something, or there's a whole collectors thing, or whatever it is. There's going to be some major organization doing something every night. Yeah. So as long as you've just been sociable throughout the day, you'll probably end up at some party that you didn't even know you were going to that morning.
Yeah, exactly. So since there's a party, there's drinks are flowing. So and it's bad for me because I'm one of those people that when look at all the beverages I bring to the show here. I always have a giant thing of water and Kickstart and everything, and when I'm talking, I don't realize it, but I'm always drinking something. Mm-hmm. So if I'm around beer or something, I'm just pounding without even knowing I'm doing it. So it's not the best for me, but I just gotta. Thankfully, I have my wife there this time that might put the brakes on me a little bit. Yeah, but I do say might because I've already warned her. She says, "Well, I'm definitely going this time," and I told her months ago. I said, "Look, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to tell you where I'm going to be, and feel free to follow along. But I'm not stopping. I'm not pumping the brakes. Just come along for the ride because this train is rolling." I'm not. I told her, I'm not there to be husband JT this time. I'm there. It's not me. I'm there to be Star Wars nerd JT, and I'm there to be with AJ. That's our brother time together. So you're more than welcome to tag along for every single thing we do. But I'm not slowing down. Mm-hmm. I love you more than anything in the world, but I'm not slowing down.
The plan doesn't change just because you showed up.
Exactly. All right. Well, mine is not doing it by time, so I'm just going to go by day. And we'll just run down the day schedule. So
okay, well, before we got on the air, you were talking. We can just start. We know what the first panel is. It's the 40 years of Star Wars.
No, first panel is 40 for 40. Highlights from 4 decades of Star Wars collectibles. Name.
Mine is sorting. You got the tablet version and it's not working, but mine is. And we know that the opening panel of Celebration, chronologically speaking, is the 40th anniversary panel.
So are you leading this then? Or am I?
Well, I've got it right here.
Okay, then you lead.
And even without the chronological schedule, you know what the first panel is.
Oh, yeah.
We already had a whole show about it.
Go listen to it. 40th anniversary of Star Wars panel. Yay. So I'm definitely doing that one.
So that one, there is actually an update on that one since we did a whole show about it. The big surprise, of course, is that of all the additional guests that they've announced, and there are a ton of them, Hayden Christensen.
I have asked online, and I'll ask it to you. Is it weird that I might actually go pay for an autograph and wait in line just talk to him for a second?
No.
I don't.
You want something unique to our Celebration experience? It's the fact that we got into these after the prequels came and went, and all those actors had pretty much shunned the conventions because of the fan backlash.
Yeah.
So,
well, I would just love to give him a sticker and be like, hey, man, if you're ever bored sometime, look it up because we absolutely love the prequels, and I hate that people bag on you for what you did because I loved it. I thought you were fantastic as Anakin Skywalker. So if you're ever looking for something to boost your ego, check out our episode about Revenge of the Sith because it's my favorite movie, and I thought you were great. So
I like that they're repairing some of those bridges too.
Yeah. Well, the biggest bridge, again, I swear it's either Harrison Ford or George Lucas, and something that they had online a description of the panel actually kind of teases that, because the people that are coming to this thing, they literally have all the major name actors: Mark Hamill, Ian McDiarmid, Billy D. Williams, Anthony Daniels. They got Dave Filoni, Hayden Christensen, Warwick Davis. They got everybody that played anybody's on there. And at the end of the explanation, it says there's also some galactic-sized surprises we're saving for the panel itself. We don't want to give everything away. So it's, I mean, what else? What are you going to do? So just like in that one bonus episode, it has to be George Lucas. It has to be.
It could just be marketing hype too, because they're not going to put out the hype material for the panel and be like, "Here's everything and nothing else." That's everything you're going to see.
I'm going to be so pissed if it's like, "Oh, we're releasing new DVDs." It'd be like, "Oh, come on!" I'm going to be so pissed. Like, man, I waited all night long just to hear people talk about how great Star Wars is. I already know how great Star Wars is. I want to see something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's one thing is, if it is George Lucas, I won't be upset that people are streaming it because they'll see it. But to be in the room when they actually announce him and to be part of that crowd when it absolutely erupts.
Mm-hmm.
And when he comes out in his first public Star Wars appearance since the sale of Disney, that's so worth the wait to me.
What if he comes out like arms spread, the crowd's just going frantic, and then he just gives like a swipe gesture with both hands, and the room just shuts up. Like millions of voices suddenly cried out and were suddenly silenced.
He just comes out there, grabs the mic from Warwick Davis and goes in like, "Episode 7 sucked," and chucks it down and walks off stage. I'd be like, well, I can officially leave Celebration now because I will never see anything greater. George Lucas publicly in one of the movies, just his revenge. At last he has revenge. At last he has revealed himself to Lucasfilm.
Maybe he just gets all topical and comes out with a T-shirt that says #NotMyMovie.
Right. That's what they want to ask him about, like Star Wars and making Star Wars, and all he does is just go off on a tangent about what his idea would have been. And just throws the whole fandom into a tizzy. Like, wait a minute, that's what could have happened? Then all the speculation starts. Who likes which one better?
Exactly. What if the idea sucks?
Yeah, right. All right. So 40th anniversary panel. What do we got next?
We've got multitasking on my laptop.
See,
I'm back. Okay. So first off, they're doing good coverage. This is one thing that they've started doing since they know the opening panels. The big panels always have good simulcast coverage, because there are 3 auditoriums that they're devoting.
Okay.
So that's, about 21,000 people who can get in to see this, quote-unquote, live?
Yeah, because they have multiple rooms. Because when I looked up the layout of how they're doing it on all 4 floors.
Oh, wow.
The Galaxy stage where they're doing the main panels, like the 40th anniversary, is on the 4th level. And it's a ballroom that holds 6,000 people. The only bummer about that is it's not going to be nearly as cool as the Anaheim Convention Center, because Anaheim... That convention center had that little auditorium that held 8 to 10,000 people or something, and so it was bowl seating. But this,
so you're saying they may have split up? They might be on levels 5 and 6 now, sir.
You're on it tonight, man. Nice job. But yeah, I mean, with seating for 6,000 people all on the same level, it's going to be kind of hard to see at a distance.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, how do you feel about the simulcast thing? Because it kind of I can't talk. It kind of ties into the online streaming. Like if you're waiting in line all night just to sit in an auditorium and watch a giant screen, is that really the same as being at the panel? Or might as well you just sit in the hotel bar or in your hotel room getting ready and just watch it on your computer?
No, because I think a lot of people want to have that fan experience. I mean, that's the fun of it. I mean, how many times have we said on the air here that the main fun that we have at Celebration is the socialization of it. So to be in those other rooms with a couple thousand other people, and when it goes off, you're like, oh my god, it's the next best thing to being in the main room.
True. Okay.
So,
yeah, I can see that.
So I mean, it just depends, and it's going to be interesting to see how many people wait for these things. I mean, I know on Wednesday I'm going to go scope out the setup of the queue, and I'm going to go a couple hours before, because if I see people standing there, I'm standing there.
So Wednesday, you're pretty much just out.
Yeah, I think the line starts at 8. I have to look up the details, but I think it starts at 8, and I'm probably going to head over there at 3 or 4.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. The line may open at 8. That means the line is The queue for the line, which is itself a queue, is going to probably start earlier in the day. Like, God, I remember back when Phantom Menace came out, my buddy Jeff was at Ohio State, and they actually dragged their couch out of their dorm room. And they did the whole weekend, like 3 days before. They just set up their couch on the sidewalk in the movie theater.
Dude, I would do that.
That's exactly what's going to happen for this panel. You know it. People are just going to be camping out there. They're going to have like inflatable couches or chairs or something just sitting there.
That's what I could use my my airbed for. Like, Dominic, you're sleeping on pillows. I'm taking this airbed. So, yeah, but I'm interested to see how they do it. So, by the way, I think I finally pulled it up on the. I think I got it sorted properly somehow. Is the next one Star Wars story time?
Yes.
All right. No. That's a family panel. We don't need that.
Anything that takes place in the family room, let's face it, we don't give a shit about family.
Yes.
This is Star Wars.
Exactly.
Screw family.
All right, so we have 40 years of Star Wars, 40 years of Star Wars. Drawing with Brad Hudson. Learn to draw Star Wars characters with Topps artist Brad Hudson.
That's actually one of those odd sidebar things that if it wasn't in the way of other stuff, I would go to it.
Yeah, I agree. Droid racing. I think my wife might actually do this. She's
fans participate.
Oh yeah, the droid builders made a ton of mouse droids.
Oh,
and they're RC mouse droids, and they actually have its fans are racing them.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought it was just the builders racing their own creations.
No, at least not from what I read. And yeah, my wife, like, she's making a beeline for the Droid Builders Association room.
Okay,
she's madly in love with R2 and BB-8 and K2SO.
You know, we had the plan after the last one to maybe do a family project of building one of those. We never did anything about that.
Oh, it only costs like $6,000 to $8,000.
You can do it as low as $500, actually.
But
much less than a costume.
Yeah, but
for the same price of that Slave Leia costume that never showed up, you could have had an R2.
We should just get the pieces and build a remote control one all out of Legos. We'll have like a life-size Lego one.
They already did that. It's probably going to be at this one. We took pictures of it last time. It's L3GO.
Oh, that's right.
L3G0, right. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it's. I mean, the motors are obviously not made out of Lego, but everything else is not even glued together Lego. Pieces fall off, they put it right back on.
Man, I'd glue that thing together. All right, so next would be, after droid racing, we have 40 for 40, highlights from 4 decades of Star Wars collectibles. Nah, not for me. If you're a collector, it's awesome, but...
Yeah, they've got so many collecting panels, and this is where I wish our buddy James was available tonight, because collecting is, there's so much stuff that I guess it's an endless trove of subject material, but at the same time, what new information is there to impart every time?
Yeah.
Like 40 years of collecting. Yeah, there's crap tons of stuff. What a surprise.
Yeah.
Thanks. Next topic.
Yeah, right. By the way, I wanted to interject something real fast because when I'm going, nah, I just want to make it clear that I think all the panels are cool because this celebration really provides something for everybody. So when I go, nah, I don't mean, oh, that panel sucks. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to it.
Right.
So it doesn't mean I'm not interested in it or that it's a dumb idea. It just means that I'm not personally going to attend that one. So, all right. So the next one is the Rated NA podcast. You bastards. So one of our fellow podcasts will be broadcasting from 12 to 1. Star Wars Rebels Theater.
Well, how are we going to get over there to heckle them if we're at the 40th anniversary panel?
You know what sucks is that
boo! Nerf Herder Council!
Doesn't it suck that we don't know one of the podcasts really well, so we could actually do that? That would be hilarious. I
don't know if they'd let us do that anyway.
If we had gotten on there and one of the podcasts that we're really tight with, like Blockade Runner or Blabba or something, like I would have been, you guys have to come and heckle. So people are like, what the heck are these people doing? And then we can totally play it up. It's good promo for them. I would love that. Like whenever I'm playing a show and Mikey and Aiken show up and they're throwing ice at me while I'm trying to sing, something like that. It'd be funny. So, all right. So Star Wars Rebels Theater. That's just you watch Rebels, so don't have to worry about that one. STEM Star Wars. STEM is a global initiative to increase and diversify interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. Art is a key vector for innovative thinking. Blah, blah, blah. Nah, I'm not going to be doing that one. Feel free to stop me if you see something that you disagree with. We Are a Legion, the Star Wars Costuming Club's leadership panel. This panel is show.
I'm a costuming nerd, so I'm kind of interested. But okay. The gist of this one is that it's basically all the organizations explaining what they specifically do.
Right.
And just kind of a sign of solidarity that shows that, like, because I'm 501st and you're Rebel Legion, I don't like you.
Yeah, right. Not true. We actually are all friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so Star Wars Origami with Chris Alexander.
Oh, that's not the next one on my page.
It is on mine.
I've got one that I actually really want to go to.
Which one?
The Making of the Star Wars Visual Encyclopedia.
That's the next one on mine.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, those books are incredible. You saw the Rogue One Visual Dictionary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one that covers the entire saga, that thing has got to be amazing. And can you imagine the stories that they came across in doing research for that book?
Yeah, for me, the book thing, it's not really something that I would go do. Again, I think my panels, I select them pretty carefully because of the time it takes to actually get into them.
True.
I mean, you're going to spend an hour in there, but then, I mean, when I went to see, God, what panel was it? At Celebration 6, I forget what it was, but I had to wait 2 hours in line and then an hour in the panel. So
yep.
I love walking the floor so much that I don't go to many panels because I get bummed out. I'm like, I just want to look at Star Wars stuff the whole time.
Yeah, I try to pick and choose like no more than 2 panels a day at most, because otherwise your whole day is shot waiting in lines.
That's exactly what I try and do.
Now, one thing that I hope you've learned by now as a veteran of Celebration, you don't rush in and buy stuff immediately.
I do for T-shirts.
Are we talking Celebration exclusives?
No, I go to the, like, I make a floor sweep for stuff because the first Celebration there was a Mandalorian hoodie that I had to have. I was like, oh, I'll get it at the end, and it sold out like the first day, and I didn't know it.
Conversely, your first Celebration, also what happened was you ran in, blew your spending money the first day, and then saw so much more crap because you hadn't even like circled the show floor to see what all there was to offer, and then you're all mopey because you couldn't buy anything.
I remedied that by saving up triple the spending money. I just brought a load of money instead of a little bit of money. So, I mean, like,
we're not doing this with money. Yeah, we're doing this with a shitload of money.
I love it. All right, so the next one actually is pretty interesting. I might consider this one. Smooth Talking with Billy D. Williams.
I'll have to be the contrarian here.
You don't want to see Lando?
Lando I'm interested in because that's Star Wars, but as far as whatever else Billy D has done, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, but I think this is the first time he's done a panel. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so.
So it'd be kind of interesting because it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
So that's why it would interest me. You know, because you had the Mark Hamill panels and Ian McDiarmid and Ray Park, and they're all great. I think get a new perspective because he doesn't really. You don't really hear him talking about Star Wars as much as the other guys because he's just not. Mm-hmm. He wasn't as big a character, even though Lando was very big. But you just don't get a lot of Star Wars perspective from him like you do from the other actors. So it might be pretty cool.
Plus, I'd like to see him tap dance around the question of Daniel Glover playing Lando now, because he didn't do such a good job with his PR the last time he was asked about it.
Really? What did he say? I didn't hear about this.
You know, the proper way to field a question like that is to be gregarious and, you know, understand that the character is not you and vice versa. And he kind of has the opposite stance. He's like, Lando's basically me, so I'm not really down with anybody else playing him ever.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I guess I understand it, but man, that's pretty bold to come out and say that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, how is he going to handle that? Because that's what everyone's going to want to know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so how do you feel about the new Lando without you being a part of it? And then, all right. Dance, clown.
Yeah, right.
Let's see what you can do.
Like, Billy D, you better answer this right, or else you're treading on David Prowse territory here.
Mm-hmm.
Better watch that. So yeah, Smooth Talking with Billy D. Williams actually looks like it might be kind of cool.
Going head to head with the growing galaxy of women's Star Wars fashion.
Yeah,
that's an interesting split. See, this is what I'm talking about as far as like having to pick and choose, because I'm assuming that there's a large female contingent of fans that would love to go see the Billy D panel, but there's a women's fashion panel going right up against it, and that probably guarantees Ashley Eckstein is going to be a part of it.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, she's the owner of that Her Universe company. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there'd be a lot of battling between that because I mean, Billy D. Williams is like a strictly behind the scenes. Here's an actor from Star Wars talking about Star Wars thing, whereas the Star Wars fashion thing. I mean, the girly girls that are kind of nerdy might want to go see clothes. You know, I mean, it just doesn't seem like it would mesh. To me, you know, the two different the audiences that they're directed at.
Well, I hope that's the way they've tried to structure the whole schedule, is making sure that there's not a lot of overlap for people.
Yeah. Okay, the next one I know that you would want to see.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of overlap, this is why you, being a contrarian with Billy D. Williams, I can see why. Dave Filoni, Animated Origins and Unexpected Fates. That is pretty cool.
This one, okay, first it's on the Galaxy stage, so they're giving him his due. They realize how popular this panel is going to be. But at the same time, he's done a lot of panels already. I wonder what else he's got to say.
Well, I mean,
that's actually part of the lure for me, is to figure out like what else is there.
Well, he'll be talking a lot about Rebels, and I'm sure there'll be some like they're not. I don't know if they're going to talk about the next show because there's starting to be a lot of rumbling about it. Everybody knows there's going to be another animated show after Rebels, and supposedly we're going to get some information as to what it is. I don't know if it's going to be at this panel or at the Rebels panel itself, but he might talk about that.
Yeah, I think part of what diminishes my allure for this one is when Clone Wars was around, there wasn't as much coverage. So now that Celebration has become a huge thing, there's tons of stories to tell, and unreleased concept art and stories that they didn't use. A treasure trove of unreleased material for that. Rebels has been covered very well. Every week gets a StarWars.com video, Rebels Recon, and then they've got the Star Wars show that goes into depth even further, and they've got the episode guide going on StarWars.com if you want to see concept art and key art and story directions and stuff like. So I don't feel like with Rebels there's that much unknown that I just can't wait to hear Dave talk about.
Right.
But it's got Pablo Hidalgo again. He's always entertaining.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, the last sentence of the description says they will track the surprising fates of this generation of Star Wars characters. I mean, they're not going to come out and say like, oh yeah, next season, by the way, Kanan's going to die. But yeah, I mean, what are they actually going to tell us the fates of characters that we don't already know? Because how is it going to be a surprising fate if we've already found out what it is?
That's a good question. Maybe it's just phrased wrong, and they're just going to talk about characters that have already had surprising fates.
Oh, like we didn't expect the Inquisitor to die at the end of season 1?
Yeah, stuff like that. We're going to have to actually go through this pretty quickly, because we're already at, half hour, aren't we?
Something like that.
We're only on the third screen of stuff for Thursday. Why don't we scroll and stop at stuff we want to see? So let's see here. Meet the 501st. You're 501st.
That's a good one. That's actually my first exposure to the group anyway, was going to that and asking questions. So anyone who's who wants to get into costuming or has any questions about the labors involved, those guys are so willing to talk to you. They're so approachable.
Yeah, instead of the panel though, I would offer that it's better to go to their booth.
Both, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the panel's very informational, but if you actually want to talk to somebody, going to the booth is cool. Because I remember you did that it was C5, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The panel, if it's going to be like that one, it's going to be. Actually, you're right. The initial contact should be in the room and not in the panel, because the panel, they tend to go over some of the more creative costumes that people have done and kind of explain the challenges thereof. So like someone did Cad Bane. And Clone Wars characters are hard because the dimensions are nothing like a human's. Mm-hmm. So they talk about, okay, well, we cheated this, the waist is up higher. It's a fake belt line because your waist is too low. And it's really kind of like inside baseball stuff.
Yeah.
But if you really want to know in detail what goes into some of the better costumes and the amount of detail that goes into them, that's the one to go see, because they're going to chronicle every last thing that they did.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're just looking at, well, how do I become a member of the 501st? What do you got to do? That was your question.
Mm-hmm.
They were cool as hell.
Yeah, because
the one guy even tried to sell you a suit.
I almost had it. Oh.
Yeah, you were so close.
$1,200 for a finished Commander Wolf, and that thing is such. I thought my costume was one of the hardest ones. That one is so much harder because the paint is super detailed, and it's a limited, specific character, so the pieces cost more because it's a smaller run of material.
Knowing what we know now, I can't
and it fit perfectly.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the one thing. It actually fit you perfectly, and especially now knowing what we know about what it costs and the time and the materials and everything.
I spent way more than that.
Yeah, $1,200 for that thing was a steal because it was all aged and weathered and everything.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm like $1,800 into this thing, and now it needs fixed because of TSA, thanks to flying to Anaheim with it last time.
Don't get us started on that one. All right, so let's see here. Let's
Padawan training if you want your kid to wield a lightsaber.
Yeah, right. There's this is kind of interesting. I'll take droids for 500, an intergalactic game show. Test your Star Wars knowledge competing head-to-head with Chuck Wendig and Timothy Zahn.
Oh, wouldn't you love to just go thrash Chuck Wendig?
Yes, I would.
Speaking of, quick side note, I think I texted you guys this. Rebel Force Radio was reviewing the season finale of Rebels, and I love it when, I mean, that's like the flagship show, and they're in great with Lucasfilm. But you know what? They have some opinions that they sometimes leave off air, and sometimes they don't leave them off air.
Is Rebel Force Radio still the Jimmy Mack and?
Yep.
Okay.
And boy, Jason Swank. Now I know why they don't discuss the book reviews, especially the Aftermath trilogy, as important as they are to the storyline.
Does he hate it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've got the time codes. I can play you the audio.
Oh, we'll have to do that at some point.
So, yeah, basically all the stuff that we don't like, he doesn't like either, and you know, it's just amazing to hear them ever say anything that politically incorrect on their show because they're so professional.
Right. Well, my since we teased it a little bit, my problem with Chuck Wendig is we follow him on our Twitter page, and it's just constant political bashing, and I'm like, just shut up already. We get it. You hate Trump. Like, whether you hate the president or support the president or any politician or anything like that, just I don't need to see you retweeting and commenting all day long. Just go write a Star Wars book. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, it's tough because you're a semi-public figure.
Yeah, and it's just annoying. Like, I mean, yeah, you can use your platform as a public figure to get your opinion out there, but when you're doing it ad nauseum, enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Just stop it already. I can't stand it. It's like just so. That's why I asked you guys: can we unfollow this guy? Like, I'm sure he's going to have some Star Wars news eventually.
He wrote his trilogy. We're done with him.
Yeah, you're done, Chuck Wendig. And now I'm going to go to the game show and smoke your ass.
Here's your conflict in panels, though. We got Rancho Obi-Wan with Steve Sansweet.
See,
and again, it's the other one's 2:30 to 3:30. This one's 3 to 4.
Yeah, but see, for me, the Rancho Obi-Wan is, hey, I have the most Star Wars stuff of anybody. It's like, okay, I can go onto the show floor and look at your Star Wars stuff because he brings the traveling exhibit.
Yeah, true.
So I can go look at that stuff, and it's like, what am I going to learn? I already know he's got all tons of Star Wars stuff. I'm just going to sit there being jealous. Like, no, I wish I had all that. Like,
okay, here's a better conflict then. How about Ian McDiarmid, Tales from the Dark Side?
Yes. Is that? I think
3:15 to 4. What a weird.
Isn't the
oddball time slot?
Is that the Ian McDiarmid and Ray Park one combined, or is that just Ian McDiarmid?
Yeah, actually it is.
Yeah, that's right. That one would actually be kind of cool. Yeah, but I saw the Ray Park one last time, so I've already seen Ray Park. I haven't seen Ian McDiarmid though. I would love to. Mm-hmm. I would love to see that because I watched his other panels on YouTube, and they were really good. That might be one of my favorite panels I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Even though I wasn't there live, it was really good. That first one that he did, it was awesome.
And Ray Park is a great interview. I mean, his panels are always fun. So
he's so enthusiastic about it. Mm-hmm. So enthusiastic about it.
Maul and Palpatine saying the same stage, right?
Right, Maul and Palpatine. Music of Rogue One. That's something that might interest you. I'm a musician and all that, as I've said many times, but that's not something I would sit through.
I wonder about that one because they did so much coverage on their own podcast about it. This might actually be because I think he actually did this panel as part of, well, it couldn't have been Celebration Europe last year, but he did this live somewhere else previously. So I think it's kind of like the live version of the thing they already podcasted about.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Doug Chang, the production design of Rogue One would be really cool.
So you're not going for the other game show? This deal is getting worse all the time?
No, it's like that's a kids thing, it says.
Oh, I missed the kid thing. Yeah, anything that says Family Room, we're pretty much going to cross off the list, right? Yeah. Except for, I mean, isn't the Bounty Hunt officially in the Family Room?
The Bounty Hunt is 3 to 5 p.m. on Thursday and 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday, and then there's one on Sunday, but it's family oriented. It's for kids, and it's shorter and easier.
Okay, so we've already got a conflict because we've been identifying the 3 o'clock block on Thursday. So are we going to go for Friday, 5 to 7?
Probably. I'm laughing. I'm like, let's just go raid the Sunday. Let's just go smoke a bunch of little kids at Star Wars Trivia. Just break their hearts. Let's go do the bounty hunt. Get out of the way, kid. Aluminum Falcons are coming through.
Running through the halls, just like shoving them down.
That'd be awesome. Oh, my gosh. All right, so let's hear. Ray Park is doing his own. He's doing his own panel on Thursday night. Ray Park, prepare to be mauled. That's awesome. Chuck Wendig has a book panel.
That's the one we can go heckle and get thrown out for.
Yeah. Screw you, Wendig.
It's late enough in the day anyway. The show's almost over.
Yeah.
If we get ousted at 5:15, then that's okay.
Just hold up poster board that says Trump hates your books. Just egg him on. Like, all right, Spanky.
# not my author.
That'd be so good. Oh. Yeah, here's one. I forgot about this one. Star Wars 365, Fact and Fiction. Join famed Industrial Light and Magic visual effects supervisor John Knoll as he delves back into A New Hope, now celebrating its 40th anniversary. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man.
Well, I wonder what the fact and fiction part means.
Well, I mean, he's going over the history of Episode 4. See, I'm not clicking on these because I don't want to mess up my feed, so you're going to have to read them.
He unearths interesting facts and dispels the fiction surrounding The Force Awakens and Rogue One.
What? Are you looking at the right one? Because mine starts out with as he delves back into A New Hope, now celebrating its 40th anniversary.
And mixes it up with little-known tidbits from the other episodes in the saga,
okay.
As well as unearths facts and dispels, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I want to see that. I really want to see that.
I'm curious because there's so much known about some of the redirection that's been done on those movies. I wonder if he's going to toe the company line and try a cover up, or if he's going to, admit this stuff. Stuff like, Sergeant Jyn Erso is on all the toys. Why? Because in the first draft of the script, she was a sergeant in the rebellion, not thief locked up in an Imperial prison.
By the way, side note, I watched Rogue One again last night because the 3D Blu-ray came out.
God, I still haven't been able to find time for that.
Man, that movie gets better and better every time I watch it. I'm watching it yesterday. Like, this is just so good, and you know what? It's like the thing that stuck out to me the most was the dialogue.
Do you think it's the difference between a guy who grew up watching Star Wars versus a guy who cut his teeth making Star Wars? Because JJ, the dialogue was one of the places where Force Awakens kind of fell flat.
I thought the dialogue was good in Force Awakens too. But...
Well, okay, not fell flat, but didn't feel authentic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there were times where I'm like, that's not the way Star Wars characters would talk. Finn especially always struck me as that kind of.
Okay,
but there wasn't anybody in Rogue One that really like jumped out at me.
Yeah, no,
that all fits in seamlessly.
Yeah, the only thing that was cheesy in Rogue One was like, be careful not to choke on your aspirations. When he was choking them. Ambitions, sorry. That was the only thing that was really cheesy. Everything else,
I'm still okay with that because Empire Strikes Back, he's like, apology accepted, Captain.
Yeah. No, I had no problem with it, but that's the one line where some people are like, oh man, that's cheesy. But I thought the dialogue was totally believable, and it was cool. Even stuff like Saw Gerrera when he's like, save the dream or whatever. I was looking at it, and the look on his face, it's not all dramatic like save the dream. He was sad. He's like, save the dream, man. Go get it. His delivery really had a lot to do with it not being cheesy for me. But
and you could totally go cornball in Star Wars. That's okay.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say that movie just keeps getting better and better to me. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And I had somebody the other day ask me where I rate it in with the other, the saga films. And that is such a hard question for me. I really don't know how to answer that.
It's such its own thing that I can't put it in there to make room for it in my ranking system.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
But this is how much I love you, buddy. Friday night would be my time to sit down with my 4K TV and my Blu-ray and my sound system and just engross myself in that thing. I'm going to be at your show instead.
I don't play until 10 o'clock, so technically, you have a few hours.
If I'm late, you know why.
You don't have to be late.
There's special features, man.
Oh, we have the digital. You haven't watched all those already?
No.
Rookie. I had those done the second that I got that thing. You kidding me? It's the first thing I did. Like, I've already seen the movie. Now it's time to watch the special features.
My job is doing this annoying thing of keeping me really busy lately. My last job I could slack off and watch special features. This one I really have to buckle down.
All right, well, understandable. I did mine on my off time. All right, so now I am officially at Friday. So let's go through Friday. Star Wars The Last Jedi.
In a sign of solidarity, shouldn't we at least mention the Disney parks and Star Wars merchandise for Steve? Can we pretend that we care about that?
Sure, we just did.
Okay.
So anyways, Star Wars The Last Jedi panel. I would love to see this, but for me, it's either the 40th anniversary panel or the Last Jedi panel. And my take is that the Last Jedi panel, they're going to talk about it and bring out the actors and, hey, here's the trailer. And that's not nearly as important to me as potentially seeing George Lucas in person.
Yeah. That's the hard thing. This is the first celebration I remember where there's 2 can't-miss panels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the opening one is supposed to be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Which is, again, reason for you saying, like, okay, if they're bumping Last Jedi to the second day, how can they possibly make that first panel bigger?
Yeah. And like you said, you did say before we went on air that, well, what if they're announcing, fully restored but completely uncut versions of the original trilogy being released? But again, that would make me mad because if they just built the whole thing up to be like hey, spend more money on Star Wars.
Right.
Like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. I did not sit in line for like 10, 14 hours on the ground playing Star Wars Trivial Pursuit with people for that, for a commercial. A crummy commercial?
Okay, here's one that goes up against it that is actually awesome. It's not for like a large audience, but the Star Wars portfolio reviews. I love that they're using this as a way to get in touch with potential creatives.
Well, it's a good way to do it.
I mean, what Star Wars fan doesn't dream of working at Lucasfilm, right?
Dude, if I could bring a resume and just hand it to every single person I saw that had a Lucasfilm badge on, I would do it.
Right. I love that they're using this as a way to reach out and connect directly with these people.
I would beg to work at Lucasfilm. I was just talking to one of my coworkers about that today. Like, I would take a lot less money to work for Lucasfilm just because I would be happy at my job. What do you do for a living? Well, I don't make squat, but I work on Star Wars.
Changing education with Star Wars is also going on at that time. That's a very short panel if I was hosting it. Show of hands, who here has not seen every episode of Clone Wars, Rebels, and all the movies? Any hands that go up like, go home right now and watch that. Don't go to school until you have.
Yeah, you are banished.
That's how I'm changing your education. Go watch Star Wars.
Right?
You sit there and think about what you did.
So, this one's kind of interesting. I'm not going to go, but it kind of intrigued me. Delilah S. Dawson, I don't know who that is. Always shoot first. How to start your first chapter with a bang. Or pew, 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 it says. It's talking about how to start a story well. And writing intrigues me, so that's kind of an interesting thing for me. But there's going to be stuff going on, I know. So...
The other one going on at that same time that kind of interested me was the Saber Guild doing Anatomy of a Fight scene.
Oh yeah, that one's kind of cool.
I mean, it's so weird to think that a lightsaber battle itself, it's basically a ballet, and you've got to choreograph it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good one. You're right. That is a good one. Here's one for you. Designing the Lego Star Wars Galaxy, the design and development of Lego Star Wars construction toys with Rob Johnson.
That one's going to be packed out, I guarantee it. Yeah. I mean, that's by far, that actually saved Lego as a company. They were so down and out when they got that license in 99. And everyone, I mean, it's like the Star Wars fan base where everything they put out, there's the diehards who love it all because it exists at all. And then there's the other contingent, much like the prequel haters, where they're going to hate it just because it's fashionable to hate on everything that's popular.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't they do this? That's too small, or that's too expensive, or that character is wrong, or it doesn't look right, or how.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to actually find out, like, okay, well, why did the set only cost $20 when you needed at least $50 worth of pieces to make this scene look right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see that.
Yep. Friday also has Small Talk with Warwick Davis. I'd be interested to see that.
I'm surprised they put a midget joke in the title of it.
Obviously, he doesn't care because
right.
every single character that they have him playing. I mean, he's in. God, he's in.
Well, I assume it's only going to be a half an hour, right? It's going to be a short conversation.
Oh, jeez, had to do that, did you? Had to go there.
I just hope there's nothing more important going on, so his gets dwarfed.
Oh, I'm not. I am not even. I'm not even going there. I'm going to leave that all to you.
Hey, I'm just tossing it out there.
All right, so I would like that one. Here's one that I think I might make the time for: the making of Rogue One.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because the special features were kind of lacking on the Blu-ray, so I would kind of like to hear about the behind the scenes stuff because as I've said before, I'm a big behind the scenes hog.
I wonder if those special features are kind of lacking because, again, everything's so well covered, they have to dilute all that material across multiple platforms. I mean, I've been getting notifications from my YouTube app that StarWars.com is just uploading Rogue One video after Rogue One video. I don't know what they are. I haven't viewed them, but I mean, they're publishing so much stuff on YouTube. How much is left for the DVD?
Well,
I'm just waiting for the day we see a making of documentary.
Right. Well, I mean, the reviews that I've seen for the Blu-ray, basically the one knock on it is that, there's not a lot of special features. But then again, I think everyone's used to stuff, like the Blu-ray set, and especially the individual DVD releases of the prequels. Those things had the bomb special features. Yeah,
I think that's the difference between George Lucas, a true fan of filmmaking, versus Disney, who is just marketing a product to their fan base. Like George Lucas, he's making the decision what goes on the discs, and he's like, this is all interesting. I want to put it all out there.
And I thought it was.
And Disney's like, screw you, take the movie.
Yeah, I do. I thought the special features were great on the prequels because they had those, like the online vignettes they would do during the making of the movie that were like a minute and a half or 2.5 minutes long or something. Mm-hmm. And they had that entire series. And then I know especially for episode 2, they had the Puppets to Pixels, which was phenomenal, about how they did digital characters for the first time. And then they had another, like the previs thing or whatever it was, that was another hour long. I mean, there was a ton of stuff to get into. It was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love that part of it personally, but then again, I also love to see how it all works behind the scenes.
People also complain about the lack of deleted scenes, but remember, George Lucas would shoot everything and then make the movie in the editing room, as he put it.
And they said there's not a lot of deleted scenes from Rogue One.
Yeah, Disney's a lot more economical. They plan out their shot schedule a lot more judiciously.
Yep. I mean, there was just an interview with John Knoll that went online yesterday or the day before, pretty recently, about the scene, the space battle, where basically it was so late in the game that the visual department went to John Knoll and went, you guys do this. Like, they just, too much on their plate.
Right.
And he's like, all right, how are we going to do this? And he just explained that they kind of just came up with it and, threw it together. It was just a hodgepodge of ideas that they thought would look cool because it was kind of late in the game and they needed the big space battle type of thing and some cool scenery and everything. So it was pretty interesting. So, well,
there's a lot of collecting panels going on here.
Yeah.
So I'm just scrolling ahead here. Sorry.
That's okay. I noticed the droids you're looking for because I think that's one that my wife is definitely going to want to go to.
Well, that's one in the family room, and it's drawing droids.
What? Oh, I didn't see it was a drawing thing. Never mind.
That'd be great. She's good at art, though. That's the thing.
She's a great artist.
I mean, you've seen the stuff she puts up in her classrooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she.
I never remember that until she shows me like projects and stuff that she's put up, and I'm like, why don't you do more with this? You're very talented.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw some of her stuff, I was like, you did that? It looked like she just printed it, like off of an internet page. I was like, that looks exactly like what you were trying to draw. Like, wow, I had no idea.
Overlapping with that, though, is Star Wars Collectibles Update with Lucasfilm's Brian Merton, which the only reason that one stands out to me is because it says find out what the high-rolling collectors will be looking for in the coming months. So this is all like the Gentle Giant statues, and they get like the Anobos costumes. And so if your minimum budget for a collectible is $1,500 and up, this is the panel for you.
I really wish the Anobo stuff wasn't as expensive as it is.
Yeah,
I would buy it, but it's way too expensive.
I have plenty of questions for that company in general because it's, one, crazy expensive, and two, it takes forever to produce. Like the stuff you buy off of forums, you get that stuff, it's either in hand or they'll turn it around in a couple of months. This is like they're taking pre-orders for fourth quarter 2017 right now for a Stormtrooper kit. Like, you're a company with all the production capacity at your disposal you could possibly need. Why are you making me wait 9 months to get my Stormtrooper armor?
Right.
I was actually feeling froggy. I was going to, use that nice new fat credit line that I got. And I was like, I'll buy a kit. Why not? Dive right in. No, I'm not waiting until December to get my pieces. I'll go to whitearmor.net. I'll find some individual guy and put the cash in his pocket because I'll feel better about that anyway. And I'll get it like 4 or 5 months sooner at the very least.
Right. Well, moving on. Here's one that I'm interested in because I enjoy talking, which is why I am co-host of a Star Wars podcast. But I like doing radio and I like doing audio stuff. Star Wars University, behind the scenes in the audiobook recording studio. Did you see who's the host? Mark Thompson.
That's cool.
That I want to see.
You skipped right over the trivia contest with Sam Witwer.
Yeah, and because I don't know who the other two guys are.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, and it's just watching. I mean, that'd be interesting if you have nothing else really going on.
But it's our buddy Sam.
Yeah, I do love Sam Witwer. They need a panel with him. I want to see if they have one.
Sidebar: we don't actually know Sam Witwer. We just wish we did. I've seen him in other stuff too, and it's great. If you've ever seen Being Human on Sci-Fi, great show. Not the BBC original, the Sci-Fi remake.
He was also in the Stephen King movie The Mist.
Oh, nice.
But so there's that one. Star Wars original props and costumes. That might be kind of interesting to see the actual Lucasfilm archive stuff.
Yes, but it's going up against how to start podcasting like a Jedi Master. And as I said, I think I want to attend that.
Yeah.
I want to see what they say that we're not doing.
Well, I don't want to take their damn advice anyway.
What if they come out and all their tips are stuff like, you need a good microphone and a mixing board. And some computer software to record into.
It probably will be. And, I think it ought to be.
Say it with me now. Oh, come on!
But people don't think about that, though. It's the most obvious part of podcasting, but so many people don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about how many podcasts you listen to where the content's pretty cool, but listening to it drives you absolutely batty. There's on the Van Halen News Desk website, there's a show called Dave and Dave, and I mean, these guys are like the Van Halen insiders. Like, they have inside knowledge of the Van Halen camp, and it sounds like the worst crap you've ever heard. I'm like, you can't afford a couple microphones and a mixing board. The one dude's calling in on a phone. It's like he's calling in from a payphone. I'm like, what are you doing? Just get the Skype app on your phone and call in on that. Like, what the heck? So, I mean, as stupid as it sounds to say, well, maybe he's going to say get a microphone. Well, a lot of people don't think about that. They just think, well, I'm going to start a Star Wars podcast. I'm going to talk about Star Wars, and that's all people want to hear. Production value is very underrated in the world of podcasting and music and everything. It really is.
Well, that's the problem, is when you democratize the technology, then truly anybody can do it. And I mean, like, I build websites, and yes, there are software packages you can build your own. I'll build you a better one because I'm a professional at it. Same thing. You're a musician, so I could pick up and clang away on a bass guitar, but you're going to play that bass line way better.
Yeah, that's actually a very good analogy.
The interesting thing about that how to start podcasting thing, though, is there is no information about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It just gives a location, not who's hosting it, not what you're going to hear. I swear it's just an open time slot where they were like, you know what? Nobody else is worth getting on this stage. We're just going to leave it open.
We missed an email that we got offered to host that. This is the most original podcast we've heard. These guys are total tchotchkes, but it sounds good. Let's get them to do a panel. And we totally missed it. We're supposed to actually be panelists at Celebration.
That's when we go live from the audience.
Yes.
We start podcasting during the How to Podcast. See how many people think we're the hosts?
That would be hilarious. Just stand up like a few minutes before when people are saying that, be like, what's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to the How to Podcast Like a Jedi Master. We're your hosts, JT and AJ from the Nerf Herder Council, and just see how many people buy into it. And then
great.
And then when the actual hosts walk out on stage, have people look at us and get all mad. We have to go running out before we get mobbed. That wasn't funny. Oh, the hell it wasn't.
Have a sticker.
On the way out, we're just flipping stickers like Frisbees like I do off the stage with the band. Putting people's eye out.
How to start podcasting like a Jedi Master. Free stickers. Bye. We'll be in the bathroom.
Yeah. How to troll like a master. Okay, so here's one that I absolutely cannot miss, and I think this is going to disqualify us from the bounty hunt. If I can get into this one.
Oh yeah.
Mark Hamill's tribute to Carrie Fisher.
That one's going to be rough for him. You just know it. Yeah. It's going to be fun, but... Well, actually, that's the thing, is he can make it fun, even though it's going to be a somber reason for the occasion. It's still going to be entertaining. Yeah. That's going to be like that one is going to be, I think, one of the biggest panels of the whole thing, just because it's going to be a public goodbye for Carrie Fisher, all the Star Wars fans. And they're simulcasting it. Yeah, well, as well they should. I mean, his panels are always absolutely phenomenal. Just if you guys are going to watch something online, he later on in the weekend has his own panel, Mark Hamill. His panels are always great. He is super enthusiastic about Star Wars. His stuff is always funny, and it's really, really great. And the last one wasn't even hosted. He just sat in a chair and did it all himself. Mm-hmm. You know, he took questions and he just talked. I mean, he didn't have a host asking him questions and everything, and it was just him riffing on Star Wars. It was awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that one's going to be that for me is on my must see. Yeah. One of the fringe ones that unfortunately goes up against it, so it will be poorly attended, is Star Wars Obscure Character Face Off Strikes Back. if you just want to dig into like the oddball stuff that you will never see anywhere else, that's what Celebration is for. Is like these things. Like,
Yeah.
you want to know about bar patron number 4 at the Cantina, or Sleaze Bogano from episode 2, or
That's
probably like all the pod racing drivers are all going to be represented well there.
I was Ben Quadraneros.
Odie Mandrell rocks.
Yeah. You weren't that guy. Oh, you don't think I was that guy? Well, here's some proof. Roar! Oh, you were him. I'll be damned.
Hello, Asty, my ass.
Yeah,
but no damage. Oh, you are. Okay.
Right. All right, let's see. Let's scroll. No. Oh.
Uh-oh, what'd you find?
The Life and Times of Han Solo.
Yeah, I saw that one, and I instantly knew that you had to see that one.
But it's late on Friday. 7:30 to 8:30. I'm going to write that one down.
And that's a tricky one because it doesn't overlap the Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher tribute, but the cue for the Harrison Ford thing will overlap the panel from...
Yeah. So let's see. There's that. Alex. I can't put... Okay, this is where they get into the screenings of the movies. On Friday night, they're playing Rogue One and A New Hope, and then on Saturday, they're playing Empire, Jedi, and TFA. They are completely skipping over the prequels again.
No 3D. We're still one of a very limited audience that ever saw those.
Did we ever get confirmation if they showed that in 3D at Celebration Europe? Because if not, we're the only people.
They did.
Damn.
So it's been shown at 2 celebrations.
Well, still, depending on the size of the room, there might be a couple thousand people on the entire planet that have seen that movie in 3D. Yeah,
I'm still good with that. And having done that before, and I mean, it was great to see it in 3D, so because it was super exclusive. That's not the way you want to see a movie. Sitting in the back row of a cheap ass conference chair, like the stiff back and no cushion whatsoever.
That's true.
So I'm okay with them doing this because there's nothing I got to see. We've got them all digitally. We've got my computer. We can watch all the movies we want in the comfort of our hotel room or anywhere we want.
By the way, speaking of, I bought another external battery today.
Oh, so we've got 4 now.
Yeah, I had one which was like a 6,000, and I bought a 20,000, I think.
Jesus.
With 2 inputs and a fast charger, something like that. I'm not messing around. Plus, my wife and stepson have to go driving around Daytona. They don't know where the hell they're going. I don't need their phones dying in case they get in trouble.
That's true. I'm gonna need those too because my S6 is almost 2 years old. The thing doesn't hold a charge for crap anymore.
That's mine. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the S8. I really wish they had released that before Celebration. Then I have a fresh new battery to go to Celebration with.
Right. Yeah, but if my wife and stepson get in any trouble, I have to have a charged up battery so I can tell them, boy, that's got to suck. All right, got to go to the panel. Who was that? It's Steph and Dominic. They were in a car crash. A car crash? Where are you going? The exit's that way. Yeah, but the panel's over there.
Didn't you hear me? They're in a car crash. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're going to be there for a few hours. They're not bleeding or anything. So I'm so callous.
I trust our first responders. They're fine.
Yeah. All right. So now we're into Saturday. Let's see here. Star Wars Rebels Season 4 sneak peek. That'd be kind of interesting.
And it's going to be very well attended. They always anything about the upcoming season of the series is always well attended.
Yeah, I might I might go to that one or try. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, Saturday is that day of, just a million people. So the lines for the good panels are going to be hellacious too.
One good thing though, in years past, it was, there's stuff going on all weekend, but it seemed like celebrations past were very front loaded. Like the good stuff was really on Thursday and Friday. There's at least one like can't miss thing on pretty much every day of this one.
Well, I just scrolled through 2 pages of Saturday and didn't find anything. Saturday might be my day to wander around.
Well, okay. When I say can't miss, I mean like important panels, like the Season 4 sneak peek of Rebels. I'm not going to put in the time for that because I just know it's not going to be feasible. But it's important stuff. It's new information about what's coming up for Star Wars.
Right.
It's not like I said, origami or story time or watch last season of Rebels or... Which, by the way, why no Clone Wars? Yeah, why are they just... They've only got 3 seasons of Rebels to show, which means they can get through it. They're going to have to repeat, I would think.
There's nothing Clone Wars or prequel related here. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. And at this point, there's so much Star Wars, though. It's it's like going to see a classic rock band where there's so much to cover. You've got to cycle it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Clone Wars had the spotlight before Rebels came along. Now it's time to give Rebels more of a spotlight. I get it.
Well,
but there's the big thing on Saturday that we have yet to get to.
Which is?
Keep scrolling, man. You know it.
Anthony Daniels? Because that's the first one I wrote down.
Isn't Battlefront 2?
I haven't got to that yet.
I thought Battlefront 2 was on Saturday.
It is, but I'm only at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Now, look at this podcast. Black Girl Nerds Podcast.
Hey, if you want a wide diversity of shows, that's the way to do it.
What the hell is that?
I think it's a bunch of black girl nerds podcasting.
Interesting.
That's not us.
All right, that's an interesting show title, I suppose. I never thought you'd see something like that.
Well, if you want to target your audience, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see here. Still scrolling. There it is. Saturday at 2:30, the galaxy-wide premiere of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yep, going.
Yeah, given how big that presence was at last Celebration, this one's going to be huge.
Yeah, that is a must see for me.
Is anything going to be playable there, or is it just going to be videos?
They said that one of the articles that I read said that they're going to have some playable stuff.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that one I have to go to because I know Battlefront. A lot of people have complained about it. I still play it all the time. I actually played a little bit before I came into the show. I love the game.
I saw that. Maybe the notifications are a little bit behind, but my PlayStation app tells me when my friends sign on. And at 7:35,
yeah,
we're supposed to be over here at 8:30, and at 7:35, you're signing on to play Battlefront. I almost texted you are we still doing a show tonight?
I played one round. I just played some Blast on Scarif.
Nice.
So yeah, dude, I love that game. I still love it. I mean, it's you don't have to think about it. Just run around. Pretend you're a stormtrooper and shoot people. It's even though I suck at it, still I have fun with it.
It does help your focus. Actually, I actually read an article about this the other day that apparently first person shooters are good at increasing your ability to focus because basically it requires so much of your brain processing power to perform all the tasks required to play that game well. This explains why I'm a scatterbrain and suck at Battlefront, but there's actually a benefit. You'd think a brain teaser, a word search or a puzzle game would increase. No, it's first-person shooters, mindless shoot-em-ups. That's what helps your brain. So you're just getting smarter, that's all.
It makes me stronger. Gives me focus.
It does. Nice quote.
Look at that. See, we're good with the quotes tonight.
Dynamite drop-in, money.
All right, so let's keep going here. Let's see.
I think the hard thing for us in reviewing this whole schedule is that when you've been to a few of them, there's less new stuff for you to see. Not that there's not a whole bevy of stuff, but we've been to 3 celebrations now, so we're looking at this going like there's one about the props and stuff. I'd totally go to that, except we've been to that.
Yeah. This one's kind of interesting to me. This is in the afternoon, so I don't know what the overlap will be. These are not the writers you're looking for. Bloggers discuss writing about Star Wars. That's kind of interesting because it's free form, kind of like what we do with the show. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what they do. Also, it'd be nice to know if they could make a living off of it. Because maybe if there's a bunch of little things you can make a living off of at Star Wars, I could do 10 of them and that'll be my job. I'll have 14 Star Wars related jobs.
Well, more and more I do see that StarWars.com, they use freelance stories. It's not like they have a staff for StarWars.com. You just write a good blog and, submit it to them. And if they like it, they'll publish it.
Here's an interesting one that we've seen at the last few. And we're like, how many people go to this? But they have it again. The Art of Japanese Star Wars Vegetable Carving, Episode 3. There's all this vegetable carving. I mean, they've done it at the last 2 or 3 celebrations. So people must be going.
See, these are these panels that I love having there because it's the oddball stuff you'd never even think of. And especially if you've been traipsing around the show floor all day and you just need a break, maybe you just go find a panel that's off the beaten path and expand your horizons a little bit. I would check this out if I was tired and just needed something. Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I've been immersed in Battlefront 2 and Episode 8 all day and I'm like, all right, I'll go check out some vegetable carving. That's something different.
Yeah.
The Championships of Cosplay. That's one that I wouldn't wait in line for it, but the Championships of Cosplay is amazing to see. It's one thing to put together a Star Wars costume. Those are incredibly detailed as it is, but you've seen the ones that win. God, man, it's usually a video game character because they always seem to have more detailed costumes in general.
Yeah. Well,
But the level of detail, like that one guy was walking around with an actual smoke machine, so his entire suit could just like ooze fog. Like, holy crap, the detail that people put into these things.
See, that's part of the fun too. See, I like the creative ones. Like we saw that old man that dressed up as the Emperor, but he had a walker, and he turned his walker into an AT-AT.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, dude, how cool is that? The poor guy's got to get around with a walker, but he made that as part of his costume. That is fantastic.
Or the father who dressed his kid up as a rebel pilot and had a little cardboard X-wing.
Yes,
so he's walking around, but it looks like he's sitting in the cockpit.
Yeah, he had like it on like shoulder straps.
Uh huh.
All right, let's see. Okay, keep going. Okay, here's what I think you're into. I might want to do it, but I think by this time on Saturday we're getting ready for some parties and stuff. Smuggler's Revenge, Kyle Newman and a Galaxy of Voices. So it's like the Smuggler's Gambit. This is Smuggler's Revenge.
Yeah,
it's a new audio play they're doing.
The stories are cool, and I went to a production at Playhouse Square once, kind of like the Intergalactic something. It was something like stupid, retro, cheesy sci-fi titled, and it was a live-action radio drama. Like, same thing. They had like a piano player and a Foley table and 3 voice actors out there, and they acted out a radio drama live. And it's amazing to see these people jump back and forth and cover all the stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I would consider this. I would consider this one. This is kind of a weird one. I just came across it. Actually, it sounds like it might be kind of fun. Whose line is it, Alderaan? We tickle the Force's funny bone with an hour of Star Wars themed improv comedy. Using audience suggestions will awaken the lighter side of the Force. That might be kind of entertaining.
Let's see, that's 7:30?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a late one. Okay.
Yeah, what are the floor hours? Is it 10 to 7 again? Because I see all these panels not start until 11.
Yeah, the panels tend to start and run later.
I always thought that the panels started right at the same time. Oh, well. But then again, considering I haven't gone to many, and all the ones I have gone to are all in the afternoon, so let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. These are the droids you're looking for. Sunday at 11. And, of course, my poor wife doesn't have Sunday passes. Although if she's really into it and wants to go and she wants to see that, I would buy her a pass that day and just be like, here you go. Because she really wants to see that. But that'd be kind of interesting. That one, I don't know. I love the droids, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of R2 and 3PO and BB-8 and K2 as well. But, I mean, sitting through a whole panel about it, that I don't know for me.
And also as an art nerd, I see that Doug Chang's got a master class on drawing. I'd totally go to that.
I would go to a Doug Chang panel. He's great. He is great to listen to. Let's see here. What else we got here? I'm scrolling.
I think the John Jackson Miller one might be interested if you're into books, because he's talking about how to write for comics, and I'd be interested to see what he has to say about the difference in the style based on the medium.
That'd be interesting. The Mark Hamill panel, there it is, on Sunday at 1. Wow, my panel schedule is really top heavy.
Yeah, so like I said, there's one can't miss every day, pretty much.
Yeah, it really is.
There's 40th anniversary on Thursday. There's Last Jedi on Friday. There's the Carrie Fisher tribute on Saturday, and then there's the Mark Hamill panel on Sunday.
Yeah. See, I've seen Mark Hamill's online, but it'd be kind of cool to go see it in person. So that's kind of interesting. I would go to that one. Although I don't know how much more he can tell us. I think at this point,
yeah,
what more is he going to say?
And that's the other thing is we're scoffing at the stuff like, oh, we've seen that before. But you know what? People are coming into the fandom all the time, and it's new to them. So they need to recycle things here and again, so people don't miss out.
Oh, believe me, I'm not questioning it for the content. I'm just saying it's for people like us, this is our 4th celebration in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And, with how much we delve into it online and special features and all that stuff, for us, it's like, okay, well, what more are we going to learn?
This one's interesting. How about Star Wars musical trivia?
I just saw that one. I wonder if that's going to be like they just play like a little piece of the music and you have to guess, like... And the end, they're going to pull stuff out that has like a recurring theme in all the movies. You have to pick out which one it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But that one would be kind of cool, though, I think. Let's see. What else do we have here? Getting to the end of Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars collecting in Argentina? That's a whole panel?
See what I mean? Yeah, like, I've actually got our in for the next Star Wars celebration. we don't worry about the approval process for a podcast stage. We put together our own panel. Just make up a topic and just hijack it as our show.
Well, we could submit for a fan panel next time.
Exactly.
We should.
Fan panel. Why Lucasfilm pisses us off by the Nerf Herder Council.
Why the Celebration Committee were a-holes for not picking us in 2017.
How to on the thing you love.
Why The Force Awakens is crap and you all won't admit it.
Just flood them with like 37 different panel ideas, so they have to take one of them.
All negative. Just completely destroy them. Like, who are these guys? We wouldn't have done this if you'd have picked us for the podcast stage in 2017, you jerks. So what is this? Can you pull up the explanation of this one? Star Wars is Forever 2. A fandom homecoming, a new beginning.
Yeah, I was scratching my head at that one too, actually. Let me hit into that one and see what we got. Come on now. Okay, now the internet's going to drag. Sure, great. There has been an awakening. Have you felt it? Star Wars is Forever 2, 2017. A fandom homecoming. A new beginning is fun, spirited panel for fans started by... What? So it's a fun-spirited panel for fans started by fans. What? This is a celebratory panel of all things Star Wars from the fan perspective, past, present, and future. Isn't that our show? Isn't that every show?
They ripped off our show. And that's kind of the show idea that I gave them that we were going to do. They ripped us off.
Really, man? What the hell?
What the hell? Screw you, Reed Pop. Now I'm not going.
Now, okay, and this is on Sunday towards the end of it. So here's what we do. We go crash this panel. Kick us out at 3:30 on a Sunday. That's fine. We've seen it all.
It's so great.
There's no show left anyway.
Yeah.
Screw you.
We'll get some kind of insider information, like right before then, like what they're going to reveal at the closing ceremony. Just scream it out as they're dragging us out. The next celebration's in Anaheim. It's in August 17th through the 20th, 2019.
Let go of me. Hey, celebration's a bunch of crap. It's a cash grabbing. Oh, see you in 2 years.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker dies in episode 8. Then we have this mad rush of people just trying to kill us.
And we're still handing out stickers.
That's what we're getting mobbed and just chucking out like swag. Closing ceremony. That's like the last panel. That might be something interesting to go to, but I'm too depressed.
I've never watched one of those for that exact reason.
I can't. Sundays I walk around watching my watch, going, but it can't be over.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go home. I just want to live in Star Wars. Why can't I live in Star Wars? I actually had to be told to leave at the last celebration because I was walking around and it was after 5 o'clock, and so they were closing the shop. I just kept walking and I kept going until someone would push me closer to the door, and then I'd walk away from them and go elsewhere until someone pushed me closer to the door, and then I'd walk away, and I was like a ping pong ball.
Oh, remember we kept on offering to help load out different booths just as an excuse to stay in there longer?
Right. I took all these selfies. I'm not a selfie guy, but I took selfies with all the dioramas, like the life-size dioramas with me with a frowny face. I was all depressed. Like, but I don't want to leave the Millennium Falcon. So, well, there's our celebration panels. I have let's see here, 5, 9, 11. I have 12 written down. But I have 5 on Thursday.
See, this is a solid strategy, too, is when you assess the line, when you get there to line up for these things, have a backup. So if that one's like just forever and a day long, and you're not willing to wait that long, find something else. So always have like 2 or 3 choices at a given time slot.
Right. Yeah, so my 3 must-see ones are the 40th anniversary on Thursday, the Mark Hamill's tribute to Carrie Fisher on Friday, and the Battlefront 2 on Saturday. So those are my must-sees. If I have backup must-sees, it would have to be, I would say, probably the Doug Chang or John Knoll panels on Thursday. And then the making of Rogue One on Friday.
And remember, we still got to wedge in the bounty hunt somewhere.
See, that's the problem. The ones I really want to see interfere with the damn bounty hunt both days.
That's the problem we had last time. That's why we didn't even do it.
Yeah. They need more bounty hunts. They only have 3 of them. There's more people that would do it. You have to assume.
We should have kept in touch with those guys because the first one, we actually remember we talked to the organizers and we were like, hey, how can we get involved with this next time? And they said, start a podcast. No, they didn't really say no, they didn't. Not at all.
You know what would be awesome? Is to get involved with it, but then go in costume and do it and cheat and win. That would be awesome. We have all the answers. Like, they hand out the clues and all of a sudden we're bolting out the door. They're like, what the hell?
I just hope that I'm more helpful this time because last time, like, so much of it was based around reading excerpts from upcoming books.
Yeah, but they gave you that sample book of a bunch of the excerpts. I read through it fast. I don't think you should say that because that one. Remember, I hadn't seen a single bit of Clone Wars, and there was a bunch of Clone Wars questions.
Well, that's what
got them all.
And that's the thing. Like any of the book questions, we were kind of lost on because we weren't really up with that stuff. But I've been doing a pretty decent job of keeping pace with it as things have come out now. Oh, didn't you say you wanted to talk to Tim Zahn at Celebration because Thrawn is coming out?
I just wanted to get the Celebration exclusive edition of that book.
Oh, okay. Because he's doing a panel too.
Yeah. No, I just want to. They have a special cover for the new Thrawn book that's coming out, and they're selling it. I want to get that. So
that would be cool, especially if you can get it autographed.
The line to get that thing is going to be incredibly long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll do it. I mean, again, it's one of those things. Like if it's not too long, like if I have to wait a half hour to buy a book, okay. But if you're telling me I got to stand on the showroom floor for like an hour or two just to get a book, like no, I don't need one special cover that bad.
Yeah.
I can just go buy it on ebook like I usually do.
By the way, for anyone who hasn't been to a convention, especially a Star Wars Celebration, and we talk about waiting in line and you're picturing the scene from Christmas Story when they're waiting for Santa Claus, that is pretty much it.
That really is it.
Well, no. This is a public podcast. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Right.
No, I might as well. Okay, let's face it. I mean, there's casual fans and hardcore fans, and this is where all the hardcore fans turn out. Yeah. So your definition of a, quote, normal Star Wars fan is stretched to the limit at this thing. Like, we almost don't belong there. We're so casual on the scale of hardcore Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
So, like, the people you're going to be talking to, just trust that everybody knows more than you do.
That's why I'm not jumping into any of the trivia stuff. Because against a lot of Star Wars fans, I can hold my own. But at this thing, I would get destroyed.
Oh, yeah. They're going to ask stuff like, what is the payload of an Imperial Star Destroyer, or the crew complement, or what was the name of the star system in which the fleet was built, or crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, the most obscure facts ever. Yeah, no, yeah, not for me. Waiting that long for the book, so I don't think I'll be. I don't think I'll be doing that. But I do want it. Is there anything that you really want to get merch wise? I know for me, I want to get an official Force Awakens movie poster and an official Rogue One movie poster since I got all 6 of the saga posters.
True.
Original copies. I wouldn't say original copies, but they're reprints of the original ones. So they're the most famous versions of the movie posters. I got all 6 of those. So now I want to get actual, Force Awakens and Rogue One versions as well.
Are you going to get the ones from Anaheim out of the tube finally and put them up on the wall?
No, because I have to get them all framed. I want to save up the money to do it right.
Well, I mean, they have to come out of the tube first.
I have to get the money saved up.
It's been 2 years.
I'm saving them for when I get a house.
See, he's actually being very nice, audience, because my posters are in there too, and I asked him to bring mine tonight because I realized that I haven't put them up on my wall in 2 years either. So I really have no room to talk.
Well, and look, I will give you yours, but you're going to be mad.
Actually, the problem is we don't remember whose is whose. We tried sorting this out before, and I just hopped on because it was like a 2 for 20, 3 for 25 kind of special or something. Well, I'm like, I only wanted like one poster, so I don't even remember what the other 2 are that I got.
It's easy to figure out which of the 6 movie posters are the official real deal ones, and those are mine. Everything else is yours.
Well, I made sure that one of mine was the Return of the Jedi poster.
Yeah. I think we have 2 of those. We should have, because I think we picked the same one.
Probably. The classic blue background.
Oh.
The night sky of Endor.
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really the only thing I really want. I'm going to get some T-shirts and stuff. Like, I'm only packing a couple T-shirts because I'm going to buy my clothes for the trip on the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I made sure my collection's large enough. I got Star Wars gear for the whole week without having to buy anything there.
Well, I have it, but you can get stuff from the vendors there that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I swear, if I find that Motley Crue album cover ripoff shirt again, I'm buying like 3 of those.
Oh, the Too Fast for Greedo?
Oh, that's the best shirt ever, and I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I love that shirt.
Yeah, the 40th anniversary gear, the Celebration exclusive stuff looks amazing. That logo just goes on everything and looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
And they've also got a whole line of T-shirts that's the pass art just printed on a T-shirt, and that's really good stuff too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, plenty of options, but you know how the Celebration store is. So that's like lining up for a panel. You better get there early and be patient.
Yeah, very true. All right, well, we have taken up quite a bit of time, so why don't we call it a night here and just start getting pumped up for Celebration, because when this show comes out, we will be about 24 hours away from hitting the road to Milford, Ohio to get our trip started. So
we'd love to tell you when we're going to broadcast from Celebration, but we don't know yet. We were supposed to have a production meeting on that, and we haven't really gotten around to it. But you can probably bet we're going to have at least a couple of live broadcasts of some length or content while we're there, right?
Yeah, you would think so. It's going to be a question of corralling me.
Yeah.
The way that I run around at these things.
Yeah, how much time do you want to actually like take out from the show to go talk about the show, right?
Yeah, well, we have to do the bathroom cast.
I think that actually violates some laws.
Crapper cast?
I'm pretty sure that any form of recording in a bathroom without express written consent of all people in the bathroom is strictly prohibited.
I'm still going to try.
All right, well, you know,
Again, I tend to get very ballsy when I've had some alcohol. So if you just feed me a little bit of that aforementioned Tito's or Smirnoff, if I'm a little buzzed, I will go do anything. I think I've proven that I'll go do almost anything.
Yeah, I think unfortunately our cover's now blown, because it's one thing to be like, oh, I didn't know, I'm so sorry. Now we've pretty much admitted to premeditated petty crimes on the air.
Well, there's been more than a few of those. So,
true.
Hey, I'm going to commit one. We're committing one at Celebration. We're cramming 6 people in a room that's only supposed to have 4.
I guess the other goal that we should have is to get back in the Obi Wants to Know Me panel.
It doesn't exist. I already looked.
Oh, really?
They did it months ago.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, I tried, but I think the main crime we have to pull off is getting more than 2 room keys.
Oh, that's actually not a problem.
Really?
Hilton app. You can now use your phone to get into your room.
Oh, really?
If you've got we've got Galaxies. If it can do like a Samsung Pay or Android Wallet kind of thing,
yeah,
it can also interact with doors.
Oh, I am so glad you know this stuff sometimes. Because if we only had 2 for 6 people, having 2 room keys is kind of.
I was scratching my head on that too.
Yeah. I'm already going to have 2 people hang back instead of bringing all 6 of us to the checkout counter.
Mm-hmm.
So I already got to figure out a way to smuggle everybody in there. And then I'm going to have to ask room service for extra towels when they're not looking in the room. See all this gear for all these tons of people.
Well, we're allowed up to 4 people in the room, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hiding 2 people's no big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's if we keep the room clean and not leave it like a shithole, then I think we'll be okay. And hide the air mattress. That's really going to be the giveaway. Like, wait a minute, you got 2 queen size beds. What do you need an air mattress for? Hey, wait a minute.
That's our raft for the pool, actually.
Leave a note on it. It'll be all scrawled and drunken scrawled. This is for the pool. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I'm sure you'll be hearing from us coming up this following week as we are broadcasting live from Celebration with our shenanigans.
Plenty of crowd noise and our voices up half an octave at least.
Yep, you will definitely hear that.
Hey, welcome to the Nerf Herder Council. It's so good.
Like we're on speed.
Right.
But find us at all the usual locations. NerfHerderCouncil.com. We are on Twitter at NHC Podcast. We do have our Facebook page. You can go look up our recorded podcasts at Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, all the usual good places there. Send us feedback at NerfHerderCouncil.com. We do have our voicemail line, which is 440-987-WARS. So leave us a voice message if you want to interact directly with the show. We'll play you on the air. And thanks again for checking it out. We hope everybody has a good time. For anybody listening that's going to Celebration, again, hit us up on Twitter or on the Facebook page, and we will meet up with you and let's have a beer. Let's talk about Star Wars. Let's hang out. We'd love to meet people that are listening to the show. That's always a blast. So we're very, very friendly, in case you can't tell. So yep. It'll definitely be worth your time to spend some time with us, because we're a little adventurous when we get down to these things. So we'll have a good time. So, anyways, I am your host, JT at Dog Pound Jedi. He's AJ
at Drake Adams 579.
Steve will be back next time, and we'll catch you later.
bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my nerf herder.
You my nerf herder.